It's officially the end of 2023, so happy new year, and I hope 2024 is going to be great for you. To wrap up the year, I figured I'd just make a video and talk about the 3 best video games, 3 best TV shows, and 3 best movies that I love in 2023. Let's talk about them. First up, and I think the easiest one to actually do, are the video games for me. So starting off at our number 3 spot, I'm going to go with Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I think the mechanics were absolutely fantastic. We get another story with Cal Kestis and all these characters that we absolutely love. And of course, our lovely droid BD-1. Just a great story, difficult mechanics, difficult game, but great storytelling as well. And I think it takes everything the first game did and just times it by 10. It's a great game. At the number 2 spot, this is very surprising for me because this game won Game of the Year. You already know what I'm talking about. Baldur's Gate 3. They worked very closely with the creators of D&D. Such a great game, very story-driven, turn-based combat, but the graphics are absolutely phenomenal. Very fun game. If you haven't played it, I have over 100 hours in it. I was never really into D&D until I played Baldur's Gate 3. There are just so many different endings to this game. You'll never have the same playthrough. The reason I say Baldur's Gate 3 being the number 2 spot is just so surprising to me because whenever I played it, I adored that game. I mean, again, I have over 100 hours in it. In the first week it came out that I had it, I played it over 80 hours. Obviously, I haven't played a whole lot since then because there have been so many other games come out. But my number 1 spot, it's just a little $10 game. You might know it. You've probably seen clips of it. Lethal Company. Now, again, this game is something you have to have and play with friends, but phenomenal game. You just work for this company, a scrap company. You go into these different facilities on different moons, collect scrap, get out, go sell it. Super easy, right? Well, no, because there are a bunch of monsters that are in the facility and you have to try to escape and get out with as much scrap as you possibly can, because if you don't meet quota, you get fired and you get ejected into space. Such a fun game, very simple. You definitely have to pick it up. Now let's move on to the TV shows. Again, I think this is another easier one. I think the movies are the most difficult to actually rank 1 through 3. So let's talk about the TV shows. At the number 3 spot coming in is going to be The Foundation Season 2. This released in July 2023. Again, this is something that is going to take a while to actually get into. Once you start the show, it's just going to be so confusing for you. But I think it's going to help to know that the show is taking place in the past, present, and future all at the same time. So just go with that. When you watch it, you'll know what I mean. Such a great science fiction. The scenery is just unreal. The production quality that Apple has put into this show, unmatched, really. It's really crazy. That's why I want Apple to buy the rights to make a Red Rising series or movie. This is one of the best looking movies and shows that you'll ever watch. I'm not even joking. That's not even to mention the cliffhanger after season 2. Like, I'm fiending for season 3. At the number 2 spot, another Apple product, Silo. If you haven't watched Silo, you need to. This is a futuristic, like post-apocalyptic science fiction where everybody lives in, you guessed it, a giant silo under the ground. There's a camera that can look at the outside just to show everybody what it looks like outside, and it is a wasteland. But is it? Some things are not true. There are a ton of twists. There's a lot of action. There are so many secrets. And just when you think you've figured out what is going on, your mind gets blown again and again and again. One of the punishments is to send people out into the wasteland to clean the camera so people can continue to see. But for some reason, everybody keeps cleaning the camera. So what does it actually look like outside? Well, you have to watch to find out. Such a great show. And then coming at the number 1 spot, probably not a big surprise for anybody that actually watches my content, it's Ahsoka. Ahsoka Season 1. They give us 2 new great characters. We get the first introduction of live-action Grand Admiral Thrawn. We get live-action Ezra. We get the live-action Ghost Crew from Rebels, which is one of my favorite Star Wars projects of all time. And then, of course, our lovely Ahsoka Tano. And it's everything I've wanted in a Star Wars project. Dave Filoni absolutely killed it. I mean, this project got him promoted to like the creative director of Star Wars and Lucasfilm. You can't really argue with that. Such a phenomenal show, and I'm really looking forward to what Dave Filoni does over at Lucasfilm and for Star Wars. Now it's time for the movies. This was easily the most difficult part of this video because there are so many great movies that I absolutely love that came out in 2023. First up, a Star Wars movie. Oh, wait, never mind. we didn't get any Star Wars movies. I think this is really part of the list where people are going to be really upset because I like a lot of movies. And I think there are some great movies this year. So if the movie that you like the most and would put in your top 3 isn't in my top 3, that doesn't mean I didn't like the movie. But at number 3, I'm going to put Blue Beetle. This movie absolutely shocked me. I think it shocked a lot of people that actually watched it. It was actually very fun, very entertaining. I think it did the family trope really well, very uniquely. And it was an absolutely heartbreaking movie. And now I'm really excited to see what James Gunn has for the DCU, because that movie really got me pulled back into DC, because Blue Beetle is such a unique character, such a unique story. And then they take the family trope, which is done time and time again in superhero films and shows, and just put their own unique spin on it. And it was just a lot of fun to watch. I absolutely love that movie. And, you know, I think a lot of people did as well if they watched it. Now, after I watched my number 2 movie, I'm really surprised I'm putting it at number 2. Same with Baldur's Gate. This movie was absolutely phenomenal. But I think there's a more unique and more original idea for a movie that came out that I absolutely adore. So my number 2 spot is going to be Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was one of the most important movies of the year, in my opinion. I think it was one of the most important, right behind Sound of Freedom. If you didn't watch Sound of Freedom, it was great. Honorable mention, it does not make this list. But Oppenheimer is also really important to show the state of the world and what led up to how it is now. Very good movie, visually stunning, sound design, perfect. Just adore that movie so much. Now, my number 1 favorite movie from the year was a movie that is a science fiction. Again, you know, I love my science fiction in all forms of media. My wife was absolutely bawling her eyes out. I got a little emotional during this movie, which doesn't really happen all that much. The Creator. Some people don't like this movie, and that is completely fine. I understand why you wouldn't like this movie, but this movie was absolutely fantastic in my opinion. Very enjoyable, very unique take on like the whole AI thing that's going on right now. Very relevant movie, but such a original and unique take on AI and the world in the future. I love this movie so much, especially being a father myself. I really connected with this movie, and it just really had everything that I wanted for that film. I had no real expectations going into watching it, but it's gonna take my number 1 spot because it's just so unique, so original, and it didn't really perform all that well. I'm really surprised because people have been asking for more original content, and we finally get one and people don't support it. But you have to watch it. I think it's on Hulu right now. You should definitely check it out. Phenomenal movie. Well, that's going to be it for this video. I know I can already predict the comments. Why isn't Spider-Man on your list? Well, I have a reason for that, and maybe I'll make another video on that. But I hope you all have a phenomenal new year. If you make a New Year's resolution, please stick to it. Don't be that person that just immediately throws it out the window after half a month. Stick to your goals. You can reach them. 2024. I have my own goals. We're going to push for it. I appreciate you all so much. Be safe over the new year. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.